Hello everyone, welcome to the session. Sorry about the delay by 10 minutes. The problem was with the network, with the YouTube connectivity, that's why the delay was. So today we're going to speak about a bit on more details about the Capgemini Drive. I will explain the pattern again for those who have been missing the sessions. Then I will move over to Infosys pattern and followed by theme detection, because some of you asked for repeat of theme detection and more practice on theme detection, because that is a little complex area when compared to passage comprehension. Alright, so here we go. Capgemini Drive, it's starting from 9th till 11th. 9th, 10th and 11th is the date. The venue is Annamacharya Engineering College in Tirupati. Now yesterday somebody asked, I am in Vizag, how will I go? The answer is the 5 districts which you see listed here: Anantapur, Chittoor, Kadapa, Kurnool and Nellore. These are the 5 districts which will go for the drive in Tirupati. The remaining districts, we will get the notification from A.P.S.S.D.C and that will be communicated to all of you. So if your college falls under any of these 5 districts, Anantapur, Chittoor, Kadapa, Kurnool and Nellore, in case if your college falls under any of these, let's have the slide please. Let's have the slide. Thank you. Please take this down. I'm going to have this slide for you. So the 5 districts that you see on the screen: Anantapur, Chittoor, Kadapa, Kurnool and Nellore. In case if your college falls under any of these districts, if your city or town falls under these 5 districts, you have to be in Tirupati from 9th till 11th for the Capgemini Drive. The remaining districts, they will come to the remaining districts as well. That information will be relayed to you as soon as we get it. So please remember, 9th, 10th and 11th in Tirupati, Annamacharya Engineering College, Anantapur, Chittoor, Kadapa, Kurnool and Nellore. Only these 5 districts will be covered. So student and colleges, BSc, for these 5 districts, you have to be there from tomorrow. Tomorrow is 9th if I am right, 9th, 10th and 11th. The pattern is written test, where you will have aptitude, 32 questions that needs to be answered in 50 minutes. This will be followed by essay writing, 300 words that needs to be written in 30 minutes. Once you clear aptitude and essay together, if you fail in either of these 2 areas, either aptitude or essay, you will fail, which means you need to clear both aptitude and essay writing. Then you will get selected for interview, where you will have technical round and HR round. For aptitude, you will have 16 questions coming from quantitative analysis, profit and loss ratios, linear equations, time and distance, time and work, permutations, combinations and probability. For logical reasoning, you will have questions coming from data interpretation, data sufficiency, syllogism, non-verbal reasoning, coding and decoding, blood relations, flowchart, number series. So basically 16 questions from logical reasoning and 16 questions from quantitative analysis. That makes it 32 questions in 50 minutes. So those 32 questions will be 16 from quantitative and 16 from reasoning. Now the question is, in terms of your English language, you will have only essay writing. You will be scored down. When I say scored down, you will be penalized if you make punctuation mistakes, capitalization mistakes, structure errors. Now, easy tips for you to understand how to go about essay and score really well. The time limit is only 30 minutes. As far as your preparation is concerned for the entire essay, dedicate the first 3 minutes reading the topic and understanding it. The next 5 minutes for making notes on a sheet of paper as to what exactly you want to write as opening, the content and the conclusion. 20 minutes spent for actually writing the essay on the system, and 2 minutes to review and correct errors. In case if you find you have used less number of words, add some words in conclusion. Whatever spelling mistakes you have done, correct it. Whatever grammatical mistakes you have done, correct it. Spend 2 minutes on it. And as you keep typing, it will keep showing the word count as well, so that you know how many words you have written. The word count should be minimum 300. Even if it's 299, you will fail, you will get disqualified. If you make punctuation error, you will lose points. So usage of space should be after full stop, not before full stop. Usage of space should be after comma, not before comma. Use the appropriate punctuation signs like colon, semicolon, apostrophes, single quote, double quote. Use it where it's supposed to be used. In case if you make lot of punctuation errors, you will fail. Whatever scorings you have done with a perfect essay of 300 plus words, you will lose all those points if you make punctuation mistake and capitalization mistakes. Please ensure you use appropriate capitalization. First letter of a word after full stop should be capital. Any noun should start with a capital letter if it's a proper noun. First person I should be capital. Any keyword should start with a capital letter. Mistakes done in terms of capitalization and punctuation both will reduce points drastically, so please be very careful. Structure, write the first paragraph as introduction, second paragraph as main content, and the third paragraph as conclusion. In case if you go inconsistent with the structure, you may lose points. Grammar and spelling, very important. Write grammatically consistent sentences. Maintain proper tense, verb, singular and plural form. Do not make spelling mistakes and do not get confused between two words which has the same pronunciation but different meaning and different spelling. Grammar and spelling errors would lead to reduction in overall score. Now here is the link for your mock assessment which has been created already. There are some students whose name is not popping up. When you enter your Aadhaar number, it's not showing up. That is primarily because your data is not sent by the college to A.P.S.S.D.C. or you have registered after the cutoff date. So you need to speak to your college placement authorities. They will in turn send the data to A.P.S.S.D.C. and will create the credentials. If some names are missing, when you try to log in, if it's missing, this is the only reason. When you work on this particular tool, you need to ensure you are using Google Chrome only. It will work only on Google Chrome. You need to log in with your Aadhaar ID, and the Aadhaar ID is your username. Aadhaar ID will be your password as well. And you see your profile. Once you see your profile on the left lane, this is the left lane or left pane, lane or pane, both are pretty same. On the left pane, you will have assessment. Click on the assessment. The moment you click on assessment, you will see Capgemini folders showing up for aptitude and for essay. Click on the folder, it will take you to the assessment. What we have done for the practice purposes, now thing is we do not know how exactly the system calculates or checks essay for Capgemini. But what we have done is we have tried to make it as close as possible. It's been tested. Please open it in Google Chrome only. If you do not have Google Chrome, please go ahead and download Google Chrome. It will work only on Google Chrome, and start taking as many tests as possible. Alright. Okay, so let's move on to Infosys now. We do not have the date for Infosys as of now. The moment we get to know, it will be notified soon. For BCom students, the placement drive will start after December. So probably mid of December or later, but only in December we'll get the information for BCom students, which companies are coming and for what date. So that will be communicated to you. For BSc, Infosys is definitely coming, but we don't know the date yet. Right now, Capgemini dates are confirmed, like I told you already. But we have started our training on Infosys. So I want to take you through the pattern once again. You will have a written assessment where you will have analytical question, 30 questions that needs to be answered in 40 minutes. You will have questions coming from quantitative aptitude and reasoning. Primarily 15 questions each from these two areas. You will also have verbal ability where 40 questions in 30 minutes needs to be answered. You will have 2 passage comprehension in this. Once you clear, you will move over to the interview round where you will have 1 round of interview for technical and 1 for HR. As far as your aptitude is concerned, data interpretation, syllogism, data sufficiency, problems on trains, time and work, permutation combination, number series, coding and decoding, and puzzles. These are the topics that will be covered for aptitude. And as far as verbal ability is concerned, you will have theme detection or what we call critical reasoning, fill in the blanks, sentence correction, reading comprehension. We did a lot of practice on reading comprehension. You will have 2 questions, 2 different passages with 5 questions each. Alright, sentence correction, we'll do it soon. We did reading comprehension for 2 to 3 days. Yesterday we extensively did reading comprehension. Prior to that we did fill up the blanks a bit, but we did a lot of theme detection. Some of you had been asking for theme detection, so I will do that again today. You can take help of 2 different apps that's available on Google Play Store, absolutely free. Pocket Verbal Ability and Pocket Aptitude, and this is how the app looks like. Alright, so that's about the pattern for Infosys. So if you have any questions, you may ask once I open up the lines. I'm going to open up the lines again today, so please do call and ask your question. For now, we will start with our theme detection so that we can go ahead and look at certain aspects of questions, certain examples. This is the first one. I'm going to read out the question, rather the passage, then we'll go ahead and look at the questions. Most social network services are web-based and provide means for users to interact over the internet, such as email and instant messaging. Online community services are sometimes considered as a social network service, though in broader sense, social network service usually means an individual-centered service, whereas online community service are group-centered. Social networking sites allow users to share ideas, pictures, posts, activities, events, and interests with people in their network. I'm going to read this again and explain a little bit. Most social network services are web-based and provide means for users to interact over the internet. Whatever social network service that you see, they are all web-based. Means they need internet in order to interact with people, such as email and instant messaging. Instant messaging is like WhatsApp. WhatsApp is not social networking, it's instant messaging. Without internet, obviously you cannot have a conversation with anyone on WhatsApp, or you cannot even send an email without internet. Online community services are sometimes considered as a social network service, though in a broader sense, social network service usually means an individual-centered service, whereas online community service are group-centered. Now let's understand what is individual and what is group-centered service. Individual service, say for example, you have created a page on Facebook. You have your individual profile, but you have created a page. Why did you create the page? Because you are a person who is an artist, you are a painter, and you make painting and you want people to buy. If somebody likes it, they buy it. So you open a Facebook page. I'm sure you have liked a lot of Facebook page of a lot of Tollywood celebrities and singers and actors, right? So they say how many fans they have on Facebook, so that's a Facebook fan page. So individual service is like when you have a page, you put up the picture of all the painting. If they like it, they message you, I like this, they pay you money and then you sell it. So that you are, in a way, you are promoting your work. It's individual centered. At the same time, there could be a Facebook group, like you have WhatsApp group, they can also be a Facebook group. For example, I create a group on Facebook for campus drives. If you have a Facebook ID, you can send a request, I will add you to that group. It's a private group, not a public group. Whoever wants to join will send a request to the admin and the admin will add, whoever is the admin of the group, exactly like WhatsApp. But here you can like a post, share a post and all that, which you cannot do in WhatsApp. Now when I look at the same platform, which is group, it's for group, it means it's serving more than one person. Let's read that line again and you will understand it better this time. Online community services are sometimes considered as a social network service, though in a broader sense, social network service usually means an individual centered service, whereas online community service are group centered. So social network is different, online community is different. Even though it's on a social network platform, but online community is different. Say for example, I open a blog. In my blog, I create a group list. People can just join that blog and share ideas. It's not social network, but right now it's on internet, but it's more of a group activity that is going on. Alright? So that's an online community. Social network sites allow user to share ideas, pictures, post, activities, events and interest with other people in their group. Now the question, the passage best supports the statement that Facebook service consists of a representation of each user, often a profile, his or her service links and variety of additional services. Now you need to tell me if the passage, is it talking about Facebook? You need to think. Is it talking about B, a social networking service is a platform to build social network or social relations among people, for example, share interest, activities, backgrounds or real life connection? Or is it talking about C, several websites are beginning to tap into power of social networking model of philanthropy. Philanthropy is charity. Anywhere is it talking about charity? Definitely not. Number 4, companies have begun to merge business technologies and solutions such as cloud computing with social network concept. Is it talking about cloud networking and cloud computing? Definitely not. Which means C and D are invalid answers. Now we'll pick between A and B. A says Facebook service consists of a representation of each user, often a profile, his or her social links and variety of additional services. B, a social networking service is a platform to build social networks or social relations among people, for example, share interest, activities, background or real life connection. So the correct answer is, what is the correct answer? The correct answer is B, because it's talking extensively about social networking service. Alright, let's go to the next passage. Compared to the first one, the answer of the second one is a little smaller. Let's see. The context in the developing and third world countries is worse. Women are still subject to honor killings. They are still denied their basic rights to education and freedom and face violence and abuse. It was observed in a care project working with adolescent girls in India that these girls are considered as temporary people who would cease to exist, at least for their fathers, once they are married. This passage is very sensitive. It's talking about a social problem today. It says the context in the developing and third world countries. There are developed countries, there are developing countries like India, or there are third world countries. Third world countries means where there are a lot of economic and lot of other issues like a Sudan, for example Syria, for example Gambia, all these countries. These are third world countries, right? Let's read. The context in the developing and third world countries is worse. Women here are still subject to honor killing. You know honor killing? In villages if you go, if the girl marries a guy from a lower caste or upper caste or vice versa, they get killed because parents do not want a bad name for the family and for the whole dynasty. I find it very weird though. They are still denied their basic right to education and freedom. Girls do not get the freedom that boys get. They do not get the education that boys get in most of the third world countries and developing countries. And also they face violence and abuse. It was observed in a CARE project, CARE, that's an organization working with adolescent girls. Adolescent means young teenager girls. That these girls are considered as temporary people who would cease to exist, means they will not exist anymore. Cease to exist means it will end. Basically it says their fathers believe that these girls will not exist once they are married. I'm sorry to say, even in India, even today, there are some people who think like that. But I feel amazing when I see most number of calls are coming from girls, most number of students who are dying to get a job in the best companies are girls. Most of the students who do really well, they are girls, and they are the smartest one. But the problem still exists in our country. And that too, you would be amazed to know some of the very, very highly educated people think as if they are in a village. Anyways, let's not talk about that. Let's read the last paragraph again. I'm going to start from here. It was observed in a CARE project working with adolescent girls in India that these girls are considered as temporary people who would cease to exist, at least for their fathers, once they are married. I'm going to pause here for a minute so that you can read the entire paragraph and you can understand. I've explained the paragraph, but I want you to read it now. I want you to read it now and understand. All right. Now I'm going to read the question. It says the passage best supports the statement that A nation can progress only when women are given equal rights and opportunities as men. B, the future of women in India is quite bright, and let us hope that they will justify their abilities by rising to the occasion. C, all women should be well treated equally. D, in many places in India, domestic violence is acceptable to women and cultural and ethical implications are imposed on their freedom. I'll explain the options. You think and answer. A nation can progress only when women are given equal rights and opportunities as men. That means a third world country or a developing country can become developed only when men and women are treated equally and they are given the equal opportunity and equal rights. B, the future of women in India is quite bright, and let us hope that they will justify their abilities by rising to the occasion. It means, but in India, women are already powerful, they have all the facilities, all the amenities, all the rights, but they are not reaching that level. If they reach the level, India will become much more powerful. Option number 3, all women should be well treated equally. That means every woman around the world, doesn't matter which country, should be given equal opportunity, equal rights and equal treatment. Last one, in many places in India, domestic violence is acceptable to women. and cultural and ethical implications are imposed on their freedom. That means in India and many places, especially in India, if a woman is physically abused, it's supposed to be okay. And on her freedom, they put a lot of limitations, lot of restrictions, and people feel it's fine, obviously, which is not right. The question is, the passage best supports the statement. Which statement does the passage support? And the correct answer is, so you have this passage, read it again, read the options, and then think and tell me what is the correct answer. Alright, the correct answer is D. In many places in India, domestic violence is acceptable to women and cultural and ethical implications are imposed on their freedom. It's talking about honor killing on line number 2. So you need to think about that word as well. It's a key word, it's mentioned on quotes. There is a reason why it's mentioned like that. Alright, let's go to the next question. The model was extended to establish a relationship between financial development and economic growth. Co-integration results shows that capital output ratio and rate of growth of human capital have positive effects on real rate of growth of GDP. What is GDP? GDP stands for gross domestic product percentage. You should know that. Irrespective of the indicator of stock market development, an increase in the market capitalization dampens economic growth, whereas turnover has no significant effect, and an increase in the money market rate of interest has a positive effect on economic growth in India. To understand this particular passage, you need to have a little bit of general knowledge. I'll read the passage again. The model was extended. We don't know what model it is talking about though. It says the model was extended to establish a relationship between financial development and economic growth. Financial development and economic growth are two different aspects. What do we mean by economic growth? Say for example, I am living in this small town in this particular district, and I have a factory which is into food processing of dairy products. I buy milk from farmers, I process that, I make that milk powder and I export it outside India. Mine is the only factory which is here, and I keep buying milk at a fixed rate for last 4-5 years. There is no other factory which is opening up around my factory or in the same city. The farmers do not have a choice but to sell the milk to me, because I am paying say 12 rupees per litre. If they sell it to the consumers directly, they will probably get 11 rupees. So they are getting 1 rupee extra. But is that enough? It's not enough. But they don't have a choice. I used to buy 5,000 litres of milk 2 years ago. Today I am buying 6,000 litres of milk. My purchase has gone up, which means farmers are able to sell only 1,000 litres more, which is like 20%. But the rate at which I export the milk product or the milk powder, I used to sell it for say 10,000 rupees per load. Right now I am selling it for 16,000 rupees per load, which means there is a financial development for my company, but there is not economic growth for the entire region. So it says the model has been created or extended to establish a correlation. If I am growing financially as an enterprise, as a businessman, the economy should also grow. That is not happening today, and that is a problem we are facing in India. There are companies which is making a lot of money, but we don't see the same effect in the society. Alright, Let's read that further. The model was extended to establish a relationship between financial development and economic growth. Co-integration results show that capital to output ratio. My capital is for 1 lakh. What is my output? That's a capital output ratio, and rate of growth of human capital have positive effect on real rate of growth of GDP. When my capital to output ratio goes up, what do we mean by capital to output? My capital investment for this entire dairy farm is say 1 crore, but I am able to produce goods worth 1.2 crores, which means my ratio is really good. That is one aspect. The second aspect it talks about is growth of human capital. Earlier I used to buy milk from 5,000 farmers. Today I am buying milk from 8,000 farmers. So there is a 60% increment in terms of number of farmers who are able to do a business with me. So the correlation has to be, or it says co-integration. When the co-integration happens between capital to output ratio as well as human capital development, the GDP goes up. GDP means the country's economy, the value of the economy of a country, it goes up. Human capital have positive effect on real rate of GDP irrespective of indicator of stock market development. So GDP is very high, but stock market is low. It says even if the stock market or share market says the value has come down, it doesn't mean the economy has come down. There are two different things. That is what the next line explains. An increase in the market capitalization dampens economic growth. What do we mean by increase in market capitalization? Market capitalization means what is the hold of one particular company or one particular share in the entire market. Today, if I have to look at it this way, if I have to look at say Reliance has a market cap of say close to say 5 lakh crores. That means that is the overall value of the share in the market. That's a value of share. What is the reality? We don't know. You get the reality only when you sell it. For example, I say I got this bottle of water from Himalayas. Okay, this bottle of water is from Himalayas and I want to sell it today. Now the value will go up exponentially because you can't go to Himalayas today and it's a holy water, so probably you will say fine, I'll take it. How much will you charge me for? I say 5,000 rupees. But that is the value I am quoting for this. But what is the actual price? Actual price could be much lesser. Actual value could be much lesser. So there is a difference between market capitalization and actual value of the shares. Alright, let's read again. An increase in the market capitalization dampens economic growth, whereas turnover has no significant effect, and an increase in the money market rate of interest has a positive effect on economic growth. When there is an increase in money market means there's a lot of exchange happening, money exchange happening. When there is a lot of money market rate of interest. Today, if the inflation is high, obviously they will not bring down the rate of interest, because if the rate of interest comes down, you will borrow more. Inflation happens because there is already a lot of money, which means it has to be done the other way around. Okay, when the economy is not going well, if you decrease the interest rate, all these manufacturing companies, all the companies will borrow more because they have to pay less money as interest. When they borrow more, they want to produce more, they want to manufacture more, they want to sell more, and you want to buy more. Even a drop of 1 percentile of interest in housing sector creates a huge impact for the consumers. Alright, that is what the whole economic picture this passage is showing you. So it says, and an increase in the money market rate of interest has a positive effect on economic growth of India. The passage best supports the statement that reform measures on the market rate of interest that were introduced in Indian banking system appears to have promoted economic growth significantly. Number 2, the impact of development in the financial sector on economic growth in India. Number 3, there is a shift in our economy from a manufacturing to a service orientation. Number 4, real wealth, real effective exchange rate and the rate of growth of labor have negative effect. Please understand the entire passage and then answer. I'll read the passage again. The model was extended to establish a relationship between financial development and economic growth. Co-integration results show the capital output ratio and rate of growth of human capital have positive effects on real rate of growth of GDP, irrespective of indicator of stock market development. An increase in the market capitalization dampens economic growth, whereas turnover has no significant effect, and an increase in the money market rate of interest has a positive effect of economic growth in India. The question is, reform measures on the market rate of interest that were introduced in the Indian banking system appears to have promoted economic growth significantly. Or does the passage support the impact of the development in the financial sector on economic growth? Does it support that there is a shift in our economy from a manufacturing to a service orientation? Or does it support real wealth, real effective exchange rate and the rate of growth of labor have negative effects? The correct answer is B. The impact of development in the financial sector on economic growth in India. When you change the financial sector, when you make certain changes, how does it affect the economic growth of the country? That is what the passage is about. Alright, let's take one more. When you get a theme, when you get a passage for theme detection, read 4-5 times to understand the inner meaning and then read the questions. Most of the child labors, I am going to make this a little more visually appealing so that you don't face difficulty. Okay. Most of the child labors are engaged in agriculture and allied services like livestock, foresting and fisheries. What do we mean by livestock? Taking care of sheep, goat, cow, buffaloes. You see they graze through the ground, they cross the road sometimes, and there is a kid who is taking a stick and keeps moving them in the right direction. That is taking care of livestock. Alright. So most of the child laborers are engaged in agriculture and allied subject like livestock, foresting and fisheries. In the urban areas, children work in dhaba, eatery helpers or cleaners in truck and as domestic servants. They have long working hours, bad and unhygienic working condition and fewer wages. The main reason behind the child labor is poverty. This is the easiest passage for theme detection. You have to get the right answer. Otherwise, I'm going to jump from 4th floor now. You have to get the right answer. I'm going to read the passage again. Most of the child laborers are engaged in agriculture and allied subjects like livestock, foresting and fisheries, which means most of the kids in villages, child laborers, they either engage themselves in agriculture, taking care of these cattle, working in the forest or doing fishing, cleaning them up, processing and all that. But in urban areas, that is cities, children work in dhaba. You see roadside dhaba and restaurants in the highway, they work in dhaba. Eatery helpers, they come clean your table, they come give you a glass of water, they do those kind of work, or cleaners in trucks. And as domestic servant means housemaids, cleaning and taking care of the house. They have long working hours. Ideally, they should not be even be working, but they work for like 12 hours, 16 hours sometimes, and live in bad and unhygienic working condition. The working area, the environment is very, very bad. They don't get proper health care, proper food, and the money also is very less. Fewer wages means very low salary. The main reason behind child labor is poverty. Because of poverty, because they are poor, they are doing this kind of work. Alright, now let's check the question. The passage best supports the statement that child labor is a social evil in every nation. Awareness of the people and government also compels poor parents to make their children employed as laborers. Almost every country in the world has laws relating to and aimed at preventing child labor. Parties recognize the right of the child to be protected from economic exploitation and from performing any work. I'll read the options again. Child labor is a social evil in every nation. Awareness of the people and government also compels means forces. They force them, they compel poor parents to make their children employed as laborers. Almost every country in the world has laws relating to and aimed at preventing child labor. Parties recognize the right of the child to be protected from economic exploitation and from performing any work. The correct answer is, I am very, very hopeful, very sure you also picked option A. Alright. So theme detection, remember, read the entire passage, read 4-5 times, you will understand. One better way of doing it is read the passage, it will only 4-5 lines, read the questions, read the passage again, now you will get a clear picture. So you read the passage, read the question and read the passage again probably 1 or 2 times and you will get a clear picture about the questions. Alright. So we have few more examples as far as theme detection is concerned. I am going little slow today so that you can understand it better because some of you had issues and concerns with theme detection. We'll take a quick break now. When we come back, we will look at a couple of more examples or 4-5 more examples of theme detection, and I will also open up the line so that you can call and ask your questions. So please be interactive, please participate, please ask whatever questions you have. Alright, make the best use of it. I will see you soon after the break. Welcome back everyone, welcome back to the session. I'm going to open up the lines now. You will see 3 numbers listed on the bottom of the screen. So please pick up your phone and start calling. While we wait for the call, I will obviously continue with a few more examples of theme detection. I have like 3 more, but this particular segment is dedicated for calls. So pick up your phone, dial the number, and ask any questions that you have regarding Capgemini Drive, Capgemini pattern, Capgemini questions, any doubts that you want to clarify, anything that you need help on in terms of Capgemini, you may ask these questions. Let's have the number flashed on the screen please, where the students can call. So whatever questions you have, you can just call. Some of you may remember the number because you had been calling pretty often. Can we have the number on the screen please? Can we have the phone number on the screen? Meanwhile, this is the passage which we are going to take up next. While the number is coming, I'll start reading this particular passage. So there you go, that's your number. So 040-2354-0726, 2354-0326, and 1-800 number 425, 1-800-425-4039. These are the three numbers you can call and ask your questions. While I wait for the callers, I will just take up the remaining three theme detection. Here is the first one. Terrorism is one of the bad debts to the world. Bad debt means somebody has taken money from you and they haven't returned it. That's called bad debts. Debts means loans. Terrorism is one of the bad debts to the world, and the peoples are affected this type of violence. Terrorism means the policy of striking terror in the minds of people by violent methods to achieve some ends. Terrorists, they just want to do something and they want to achieve, but whatever they want to achieve is completely misguided. It does not make sense, but they still do it, and it's creating a lot of issues, a lot of violence for the people, and innocent people are dying. The option says the passage best supports the statement that it could also take a toll on his self-respect, confidence, and ability to stand up for himself in the future, because in his mind he is always the guilty one. It's talking about the terrorist. B. In ballet class, children need to follow directions closely and control the urges to run around in wide open spaces. It's talking about a ballet dance, nowhere connected. C. It is a law of the jungle to use muscle power and force to get things done. D. It is not the disagreement between parents that harmful, it's how these conflicts are handled and resolved in front of the children. So again, most of these options do not even make sense. What do you do in that case? You pick, now this is a very strange passage which I found. You pick an option which has somewhat closer meaning to the passage, and closer meaning is the second one, which says, sorry, the third one, it says it's a law of the jungle to use muscle power and force to get things done. Law of the jungle says it's a muscle power, somebody who is more stronger will get things done. That's what C says. So in this case, it's a very weird passage that I came across. I still wanted to show it because you have to think really hard as to what exactly is the passage and what is the answer that's talking about. Alright, I'm going to the next one. This is interesting for all of you. It says the children who know no English, K-N-O-W means having knowledge, who know no English and haven't received any formal school education, quickly begin playing with the machine, and within days they are learning English, browsing the internet and teaching each other what they discover. It's usually observed that children who do not know English and they haven't received any formal education, they have the ability to learn quickly. If you give them a toy, if they give them a machine, they can begin to learn within short span of time. They also can learn a language. They have the ability to browse internet and also train others or teach others, because they have the ability to discover and understand. The passage best supports the statement that no other form of communication in the natural world transfers so much information in such a short period of time. There is no genetic code that leads a child to speak English or Spanish or Japanese. It has got nothing to do with the genes. The proliferation of mobile devices and social network is leading to entirely new ways of learning. Number D, it is common for teachers in early childhood classrooms to have children with speech and language delays. Speech and language delays means you will find a lot of children who can start speaking at a very early age, like when they are 10 months old, 1 year old, they can start speaking. But there are also small kids who learn speaking only when they are 4 years old or 5 years old. So it says it's very common to see such kids. I'm going to read the passage, read the options. You need to tell me what is the correct answer. The children who know no English and haven't received any formal school education quickly begin playing with the machine, and within days they are learning English, browsing the internet and teaching each other what they discover. The passage best supports the statement that no other form of communication in the natural world transfers so much information in such a short period of time. There is no genetic code that leads to a child to speak English or Spanish or Japanese, which means learning a language has got nothing to do with the gene. The proliferation of mobile devices and social network is leading to entirely new ways of learning. It is very uncommon for teachers, it is very common for teachers in early childhood classroom to have children with speech and language delays. And the correct answer is C, because we have internet. On line number 3 you have browsing the internet. Because we have the usage of internet, people have the ability to learn in a very new way. Earlier, people would go to some computer class to learn computers or Photoshop or mainframe and those kind of technologies. Today, you can learn pretty much everything on YouTube. In YouTube tutorial, you can learn pretty much anything. The recently concluded Olympics, there was one person from an African country who won silver or bronze medal in javelin throw. He learned the entire sport of javelin throw from YouTube and he won an Olympic medal. So you can pretty much learn anything and everything through the usage of technology. That is what the passage is talking about. Next passage, and I still don't have any callers. Do we have callers? No callers. I don't know why nobody's calling. The manifesto of major political parties in the country are like semantic adaptation of the same expression with only a few differences. Basically, political parties come up with the manifesto before election. Pretty much everybody is talking about the same thing. They will remove poverty, they will do 24-hour non-stop electricity, they will waive off farm loan, they will give free education, free health. They all talk about the same thing. That is what it talks about. They try to force national consensus on certain issues, but only strategy and implementation will separate them. Basically, they try to talk about a lot of things which will they do, but they don't have any plan, they don't have any strategy. Only a proper plan and execution and strategy will actually make a difference to what they speak about. All right? The passage best supports the statement. The passage best supports the statement that sometimes manifestos relating to religious belief are generally referred to as creeds. Creeds means following. A piece of personal information manager software. The word in which they are conveyed seem to be their greatest strength for now, which means the way they speak seems like that is the biggest strength. Protect the weak and poor through initiatives that are designed to integrate them into economy, which means you take care of the poor people, you take care of the weaker section, you do initiatives, you take initiatives, and that's how you integrate them to the economy. What is the passage talking about? You need to understand the inner meaning. Political parties say a lot, but they do very little. So what exactly is happening is the question. And the correct answer is, it is actually the whole alignment is little deformed. Just a moment. Okay, all right. So the correct answer is, the words in which they are conveyed seem to be their greatest strength for now. This is the situation in India. Every political party comes and talks a lot, but they do only 10%, 20%. People still believe in it, people still vote for them. It is because the way they speak, their speech, bhashan, the words in which they are conveyed seem to be their greatest strength for now. That's why people are voting. Next, deforestation results from removal of trees without sufficient reforestation. Deforestation means you cut down the trees from the forest. However, let's have the slide. You don't have to show me now. I'm reading. Let's have the slide. Deforestation results from removal of trees without sufficient reforestation. However, even when with reforestation, significant biodiversity loss may occur. There are many causes ranging from slow forest degradation to sudden and catastrophic wildfires. Wildfire is when the whole forest catches fire. It says deforestation results from removal of trees. When you remove trees, the deforestation happens. People say the same trees will be planted somewhere else, but you actually forget it takes 100 to 200 years for a tree to grow completely. When you remove that forest, when you try to grow somewhere else, it's going to take a significant amount of time. The structure of the soil has changed already. The environment has changed already, which means the reforestation is not scientifically happening. Alright? The last line says, there are many causes ranging from slow forest degradation, where the trees are not growing anymore, to sudden and catastrophic wildfires. If you go to the northern part of the country, Uttarakhand, where Nainital and all that place is located, there was a huge fire in the forest. There were trees burning down because of the heat, because the soil is not wet anymore. The trees have gone dry. Because of the heat and dryness, the forest is catching fire. All this is happening because lack of scientific methods. Alright, now let's read the options. The passage best supports the statement that a modeling study shows that reforestation the lower Mississippi alluvial valley can significantly reduce runoff from agricultural lands. A new study warns that world's largest tropical desert, the Sahara, has suffered a catastrophic collapse of its wildlife. It is not just total number of species preserved that matters, it is the number of key species. In developing countries, massive deforestation is ongoing and shaping climate and geography. What is the correct answer? Option A is out of the picture. Option B, C and D. A new study warns that the world's largest tropical desert, the Sahara, has suffered a catastrophic collapse of its wildlife. It's not just the total number of species preserved that matters, it's the number of key species. In developing countries, massive deforestation is ongoing and shaping climate and geography. Deforestation is happening in a lot of developing countries, the climate is changing and the geography is also changing. The forest is vanishing, the river is vanishing, all this is happening. And the correct answer for this particular question is obviously number 4. Developing countries want more land for factories, more land for industries, they are cutting down trees, it's changing the climate, it's adding more heat and changing the geography as well. I am pretty shocked we still do not have any callers. I don't know what seems to be wrong. I'm going to take one more example, then I'm calling it off because nobody's calling today. As many as 30 sighting of king cobras were recorded in residential areas across Kerala within a year, and most of them were caught from bathrooms and courtyards of houses and roads. A study conducted by the researchers of Department of Zoology, University of Kerala and Reptile Study Group, Thiruvananthapuram, has revealed that the king cobra, the world's longest venomous snake, venomous means poisonous, venomous snake is under increasing pressure from habitat loss. The reason people are finding these snakes in houses because people are building house in a forest. Where will the snake go? It needs place to live, it needs place to hide. That is what human beings are doing. That is what the passage is about. I'll read that passage again. As many as 30 sightings of king cobra were recorded in residential areas across Kerala within a year, and most of them were caught from bathrooms and courtyards of houses and the roads. That the king cobra, the world's longest venomous snake, is under increasing pressure from habitat loss. The passage best supports the statement that the occurrences were strange, as king cobras were never known to trespass into human territory. Large-scale deforestation and disturbances caused by the poachers and illicit liquor brewers could be forcing king cobras to migrate. The grassland of Western Ghats in Kerala, home to a rich collection of butterflies including endemic species, were under increasing threat from tourism. Or it's talking about endangered species in India. Please read, understand and answer. All right. Okay. The correct answer is B. Large scale deforestation and the disturbances caused by poachers and illicit liquor brewers could be forcing king cobras to migrate, which means you need to have a little general knowledge about what is happening in Kerala. I had been talking about this so many times and again. Please work on your general knowledge as well. It will really help you with questions like this. It will also help you a lot when it comes to interviews. If you do not work on your general knowledge, if you stick your knowledge only to the book, it's not going to help you. Pretty shocked to see no callers today. I do not have more questions. Do we have callers? No callers. All right. I'm going to call it off now, and probably I'm going to call A.P.S.S.D.C as well to know why students are not calling. Maybe some of you are busy with the Capgemini drive, but that's only for the 5 districts which is going to Tirupati tomorrow. Remaining, I expect you to interact and ask questions because we have provided this platform only for your benefit, and I'm pretty surprised you're not making use of it. All right, that's it for today. I'll see you tomorrow. If you do not have questions, I will probably eliminate the interactive session completely. I'll be the only one talking because none of you are asking questions. All the best for Capgemini, those who are going. I'll see you tomorrow.